If you've been struggling to build high converting websites and funnels for your online business, or you're tired of juggling multiple expensive tools that don't talk to each other, then you're in luck, my friends. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to master GoHighLevel's website and funnel builder, the same platform that's helping thousands of agency owners and coaches streamline their entire online business into one powerful system. Now, I'm not going to waste your time covering every single button and feature. Instead, I'm going to focus on the game-changing tools that actually move the needle for your business. The ones that help you build better funnels, convert more leads, and scale faster. If you're new here, my name is Judd Albring, and I've been in the trenches building funnels and helping people start successful online businesses here on YouTube since 2017. I've seen what works and what doesn't, and GoHighLevel has become my go-to all-in-one tool for growing my online business. Now, whether you're already using GoHighLevel and want to discover some hidden features that could help you get more leads and sales, or you're brand new and want to see if GoHighLevel is right for your business, this tutorial is going to give you everything you need. So if you want to follow along with this tutorial and test drive GoHighLevel for yourself, don't settle for the standard 14-day trial. When you use my link below in the description, you'll get a full 30-day extended free trial so you can explore everything. Plus, I'm throwing in my complete digital marketing course for beginners and my 5-day AI online business challenge for free. I'll put the link below so you can get started today. Are you ready to build something amazing? Let's go. So when you first come to the GoHighLevel dashboard, you want to make sure that you are in your sub account. And you can do that by clicking up here in the top left, and then underneath you can select a sub account. If you don't know how to do that, don't worry. It's one of the first steps they teach you how to do when you sign into your GoHighLevel account. Literally takes a few minutes to do. So once you're under your sub account, you want to scroll down to the tab that says Sites and click on Sites. And when you do that, you'll see here that you have funnels, websites, stores, webinars. You can also do blogs, forums, surveys, and so on. But what we're going to focus on are websites and funnels. Now, one of the biggest questions I get and have been getting for years is, Judd, what's the difference between a website and a funnel? And the way it was always taught to me was that a website is kind of like a glorified brochure. You have the About Us section, you have the Contact section, maybe you have some testimonials, maybe you talk about your different services and your hours and things like that. Plus, websites are typically 5, 10, 20, and can be even hundreds of pages long. Whereas a funnel, right, is a website, but a funnel is typically only 2, maybe 3 pages long, but it is designed to take a customer on a journey. So it's designed for your customer to take a specific action, like give an email address, give a name and a phone number, sign up for a coaching call, buy a product, take a survey. So it's designed for your customer to take specific action. Also, it doesn't have all the other bells and whistles of a website, like a header with an About Us section, Contact Us section. It's a very simple landing page that typically has headline, maybe some subtext, and some sort of opt-in form and button. But all the features are the same when it comes to editing funnels and websites. So we're going to get started with the funnels. And if you go to the right-hand corner, you'll click New Funnel. And if you're a digital marketing agency, typically you're going to be building funnels, right? You might build a website here and there for a customer, but if you're in the business of getting leads for yourself, for somebody else, or sales, you're going to be building funnels. Myself, I have a website that I built years ago. I haven't touched it. All I build now are funnels. That's it. Now, when you come into the Create Funnel feature, you can obviously start from blank, but I don't recommend that unless you're a coder and you want to do something really, really fancy. You also have the option to do an AI funnel. Now, I talk about this in some of my other videos. This is a great feature if you are selling websites to, say, local businesses. You could create a simple AI funnel where you could go into the AI funnel builder and type in the word plumber. And it would, in a matter of minutes, whip out a quick little funnel for plumbers. So it's a way for you to kind of showcase your work. Hey, this is what we can do. And then if they actually want to move forward with you, you could move on to, say, templates and actually build out the actual funnel. So I like to use the AI builder as sort of my freebie to give away to people. But most of the time you're going to be using the templates feature. And then you want to hit continue. Another reason why the templates feature is just so great for digital marketing marketers, online coaches, agencies, is because GoHighLevel gives us all these different categories to choose from. And then within all these different categories, you're going to see all these different funnels that you can use. And they have some really, really great funnels, literally covering just about anything. And let's look at the health and wellness funnels, because these are pretty popular. And you can see it's got everything: fitness membership funnel, nutrition wellness funnel, wellness coaching funnel, fitness download funnel, supplements funnel. So you got literally everything. And when we go to the website builder, you'll see there's even more stuff that you can do here. But let's look at one of these. Let's start with the fitness membership. And you can also preview it here, so you know, okay, hey, this is kind of the funnel I want to do. And this looks pretty good. Like, there's really not much you would change here. Obviously, you're going to change maybe the colors, the logos, but you could whip up a funnel pretty quick here. And you can even favorite, so you can save it, and then you go to continue. And once that's complete, boom, it's now in my funnel builder. And this is the back-end design for the funnel builder, and the same thing for the website builder. Now, you might be looking at this if you're brand new going, oh my God, Judd, what is all this stuff? But trust me, you'll see here in about 2 minutes. This is pretty easy once you know what everything does. And honestly, the best way to learn this, yes, you're going to learn stuff today, but it's simply by going through each of these features and actually doing it yourself. Also, GoHighLevel has amazing training, but they also have amazing support. So if you do sign up for the trial, they're going to walk you through all this stuff, okay? When you first look at the design layout here, you're going to see when I hover, you see these little sections popping up. You see a orange, a purple, green. What else here? You should see a blue. There's another purple, and you'll see here these purples are a little different. I'll explain that here in a second. And then you have a blue. So the way it works is you have these two different purples. Now this purple here is what they call a global section, which means is all the changes you make on this one are going to be the same for all your other funnels that use this particular header. Then you have the orange, which are elements. These are the elements inside of each section. So these are things like images and buttons and text. And I'm going to show you that here in 1 minute. And then you have the green, which is the entire section. So you can see this top section with this guy with the big muscular back. That is one section. And then within here, we have rows, which are in the blue. And within the rows, we can put in elements. Where's that purple? And here's another purple. And these are columns. Okay, so we could have one column, or we could have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different columns to put things in. So you have rows that run horizontal, right? And then you have the vertical. I hope I said that right. And then you have all the different sections. To simply add another one, like this green section, I can just go into here and click on the green, add a section. And then GoHighLevel gives me everything I need right here. So I can do an entire width of this funnel. I can do a wide one, which is not the entire width. Let's go back. I can do a medium or a small. So I'm going to do a full width, and I just click on that and it goes right in. Okay. And then over on the right here, this is where you edit every section that you click on. So if I click on the green, this would be to edit this section. Okay. I can change the background if I want this to be an image, if I want it to be color. Okay. I could even do a video as a background, and I can even change the width from here. So I can go from full to wide to small. For this, I'm going to go full. And then within this section, I want to add a row to edit in. So I'm going to go to add a row. And then here, I can add the different rows, and I can go columns like this, okay? Or I can just do one big one. So for this particular one, let's do a 4 column, and this will make sense in a second. So now I have the row, and within the row, which is in the section, I have all these different columns. And in these columns, I can start adding elements. So I'm going to click on the Add Element feature, and we're going to click Headline. And you can also just, depending on the computer you're on, so I use a Mac, I can just click on that and drag it in. And then here in the box, you'll see on the right, this is everything I'm going to edit within this orange box. So the first thing I want to do is change the color so I can see it. So I can scroll down and just simply change the color. I can also change the line height. I can change the size of the text. But what I like to tell my clients and my students whenever they're editing funnels is leave it as is. Other than changing, obviously, your logo, your numbers, all that stuff, and you can change the images and everything, But what I mean by leaving it as is leave the structure as is. Okay, don't be like, I'm going to add 4 columns here, 10 columns here, because these are designed by professionals, professional funnel builders, marketers. So these are designed to work. So obviously you can come in here, you can change your colors and your text, but I don't recommend deleting things and adding in your own things. Stay with the structure as much as possible. Also, these are designed to be mobile friendly. So when you start editing, creating your own funnel from scratch, you also have to keep in mind that you need to edit it for mobile. So I like to do that. That's just a little recommendation. So now I can also add in, and here I can add, let's see, a subheadline. And of course, once I'm in the box, everything on here is going to edit what's in that orange box. So if I want to change the font size, I can do that here. If I want to change the color, I can scroll down to color. Let's change this to a cool yellow. Boom. Okay, so pretty straightforward. Now, another thing you're going to use is you'll probably use the paragraph. The paragraph obviously is when you're doing longer text, so maybe you're doing an About Us type section. You can do that. Another thing I should show you is a bullet list. So if you're doing a bullet list, this is really cool when you are maybe doing pricing or talking about features. And a cool thing to point out here is if you go to the icon, you can actually choose the icon. So I like to use a check when I do these. So I can do the check, put the check mark, but then I can also change the color of the check mark, okay? So you can pick all different types of icons there. You can do the icon before, you can do it after. So let's go here, let's add another element. Which one? Okay, so button, this is a big one. So you're gonna use buttons a lot. Click on the button. The button is designed for people to take action. This is really the key thing right here. When people click on this button, what do we want them to do? Well, typically what we want them to do is fill out some information. So when you scroll down under button actions, typically you're going to have them open up a pop-up, but you can also send them to a specific URL. You can have them download a file. You can also have them hide and show elements. This is something I never use. Scroll to an element is which you could click on the button and it would scroll up or down on the page. You can have them go to a different step. You can also have them do a one-click up sell or down sell if you're selling products. But a really cool thing to point out is you could have it trigger a phone call or even an SMS message. But most of the time you're going to have it open in a pop-up. So let me show you what that does. I'll click save. I'll go to view. And it's going to open the pop-up. And within the pop-up, this is where they enter their name, their email, their phone number, okay? Now, to edit that pop-up, you can go to these top tabs here. There it is, pop-up settings. And this is where you would actually edit the pop-up. And if you don't have an actual form in there, right, if the pop-up is blank, you can simply hit add element, and next to the button option is the form. So you can put in a form. Now, GoHighLevel has a form designer, so you can design your own forms. I already have a form created, so I'm going to select that, and boom, it's going to pop it in there right away. And the cool thing is you create the form once, you don't have to create it again. And you can also put surveys in here. So it could be a pop-up and have it open in a survey, which is another really cool feature. And then you have the option to do blog posts. Typically, you're not going to do that with funnels, but you will do that with websites. So you can actually do your blog posts, the category navigation, social share, but you will be doing videos. So if you put the video feature here, like let's say I like to do videos if I'm doing a VSL, video sales letter, I might do that right below the headline. And I can change the width, so depending on how big I want it. So you have several different options, right? You can use a YouTube URL, you can take a video from Vimeo, Wistia, you can custom embed. The easiest way I found is to simply do an unlisted video, and you can just take the URL and put it in, look, and you can see the video just shows up right away. So let me hit save and show you how that works. And there you go, right? So there is my video, and people, of course, can watch it. And then another key element that you're going to use quite a bit is obviously images. So you can drag and drop an image in here wherever you want the image. And once you click on that, you can simply choose down below on the right-hand side, it says image, and you can take any image that you've uploaded and simply insert the media. But a really cool thing that GoHighLevel does is under the media, they give you Unsplash and Pixabay. If you're not familiar with these are copyright-free images that you can use on your funnel and your website. So if I go to Unsplash and I say weights, because I'm a health and wellness, I can take any of these images and use them for free on my website. These are copyright free. I can use them on my website. I can use them on my funnel. And you also have the option when you go back to add elements is to do what's called an image slider. So I can put this in here and I can have a slider with images. So we want to change the first one. I'm going to click on that one. And when I scroll down, I can change this image. So I'm going to put my handy dandy plumber one because I was building a plumbing funnel. And then if I hit save, all right, so get a jump on your day with the faucet. And then here, look, it's a slider. They can click and then go through. So I don't know why you would use this in a funnel. You probably wouldn't, but it's definitely something you would use on a website. And that's a great feature to have. So let's keep moving along here with the elements. This is where you're going to spend most of your time is with the elements, headline, subheadline, buttons, forms. You're probably not going to use this. And then you'll be adding videos and images. And you can do photo galleries. You can also do testimonials. I like to have this at the bottom of my funnels. And then another feature you're going to use a lot is the calendar feature. So if you're doing like a coaching funnel, this is something that you're definitely going to want to have. And you can do several different calendars on the back end with GoHighLevel. So this is my coaching funnel, and I can have this on my landing page. So if my goal is for people to book a call with me, I can have this feature here. I could also have it where when you click the button, it goes to my calendar feature, okay? Which is another great thing with GoHighLevel is if you use Calendly, you don't have to use it anymore, okay? You can just use the built-in survey feature or calendar feature. And you can do surveys. This is a big one too. If you want to do qualifying questions before a coaching call, you would have this. And then at the end of the survey, you could link them to your calendar. So lots of really cool things you can do right in here. And that also, if you're using a tool like Typeform, you can get rid of it. And lastly, let's see here, code. So if you're doing any kind of specific custom code, you can do that in here. So you can use that like if you want to embed a video. That's a big feature. And then the map feature, I'll show this real quick because I know a lot of people do this when they are reaching out to local businesses. This is something you can add when you're building a website for them, or if you're doing, say, a AI website for them as a freebie to get their business. If you want to kick it up a notch, you could also throw in the map feature and actually add their location. So people really like that. And then countdown timer, this is big. So if you're running any kind of special and let's say you want the countdown to end at a certain time, like, hey, sign up before midnight tonight, that's what you would add in there. And of course you can change the color, change the label color, whatever you want it to be. You can also change the size. It's not really that pretty, but you get the point. And then down here, this is a key thing to point out, is you can obviously set when you want the timer to end, but you can set where you want the timer to go. So once this timer ends, what do you want to happen, right? Where do you want your user to go? You can redirect to a URL. You can also show or hide elements. So maybe there's something above here that when the timer goes out, you don't want to show it anymore. Typically what you're going to do is have it redirect to a specific URL or a page on your website. So those are some of the key features you're going to do. And you can even do it by the minute. You can do it by the day. And then you can do a progress bar. You've probably seen these before. Where'd it go? I don't really use this. Maybe if they're filling out like a survey, that might be something I would add in there. Navigation menu, divider. Typically you're going to use these in your website, but a divider, sometimes you're going to use this when you are doing a funnel. Sometimes I like to divide the headline and the subheadline, and I can just simply click on that, go to the color, right? And I can do something kind of cool like that. And social icons, which I don't recommend doing in funnels, but you would do this, say, in your website. Typically, you don't put this on a funnel because you want as little distractions as possible. Really, your only goal with a funnel is for them to take action. Phone number, name, email. But you do have that option there. And then, of course, if you do want them to, say, purchase something, like this is a funnel where they're going to make a purchase, you have 2-step order forms, 1-step order forms, and order confirmation. I recommend the 1-step order form because I like to do as little friction as possible. I don't want them to have to go one step here and then click and do another step. I want as little clicks as possible to help them get exactly what they need. Okay. So as little friction as possible. So I recommend using the 1-step order. And also you need to make sure that you do have your Stripe account linked, and then you have the order confirmation. So you can have the order confirmation after they've actually put in their information. So those are some of the key elements that you're going to use when building a funnel and when building a website, depending on where, what you're doing with your website. And then up here, you have the different layers. So you can click on this. This is going to show you the page. And here's all the different sections you're working in. I never use this, to be honest with you, but if maybe you're a designer, if you have a web designer and they want to get real technical, they can use this and see where everything is. And then of course you have the pages. So this is the pages of your funnel or your website that you're working in. So this is the home page we're on. I can also click on the thank you. I don't want to go and save this right now. And that would just take me to the thank you page. I could edit that. And then tracking codes. So if you're doing any kind of ads, you can put all your tracking codes, your footer tracking, header tracking there. Then you have custom CSS. So if you really want to get technical, tweaking things, you can do that here. I very rarely use that. Typography. This is just going to show you the typography for the funnel, because a lot of times you're like, what the heck font is this? It'll show you here, and you can of course change that. Background. If you want to change a background image, like a full image, you can do that here. You can also change the background color. Pop-up settings, we talked about this before. This is where you would edit your pop-up. SEO metadata, if you want to go through here and add in your SEO meta. I do this for my websites. I typically don't do it for my funnels, but you can certainly do that. And then preview custom codes, I don't do that. Cookie consent, this is something that some people like to do. This is where you can click the enable cookies for your audience and then click agree. Typically you see this on websites, not on funnels, and they can do the accept all. So that's a nice feature. It's built right in. And lastly, right, you can switch between mobile and desktop. And which brings me to one other thing I want to point out. If you look at this and you look at it mobile, okay, let's say I want this text to be bigger on my desktop, but I don't want it to be real big on my mobile. So what I could do is I can copy this. And let's say this one, I want this font to be big, right? So I want this larger text to only show on the desktop, but this smaller text, I only want this to show on mobile. So the way I can do this is I can go here. I like to duplicate it, okay? And then I go to the mobile and I'm just gonna click not on desktop, okay? And I'm gonna hit save. So this will only show on the mobile. And this one, I need to say only on desktop. So boom, hit save. So now, right, you got the smaller, got the larger. And any changes I make here, so like let's say here I want to add an icon to this one, but I don't want it to show on my mobile. I can click that. I'm going to do a weight. I'm going to do the icon color. Let's do yellow. Hit save. So these changes are only for the desktop version. Now I go to the mobile, right? It's just this one. So all the changes I make here are for the mobile, and these are for the desktop. So that's a really key thing, because majority of your people are going to be looking at mobile, but obviously you got to have a desktop version. Okay. So really important to know that. And then lastly, before I forget, I want to show you guys when you go into the Elements tab and you're editing your text, you do have the option to change the font. So you can change the typography, of course. You can change the weight of the font. You can get access to all the Google fonts, change the line height. You can change the color. Okay, but when you go into styles, this is where you can start to edit the padding around the text. You can do a border. So if you want a full border, and then you can change the color of the border. So you can, do anything and everything you would do in, a typical text editor, and you can change the style of the border. You can change the border width. So you can do all the stuff that you would do in a typical Word editor. You can change the text alignment. Okay. You can add shadow. So you can even do a box shadow if you want. This is where you change the visibility. You can do all the general types of editing that you would do in any kind of Word doc. And you can even do animations. I don't recommend animations too much, but you can do any kind of up, down, right, left. Okay. So you do have that option if you want to get real funky. I typically just keep it real simple. And let's take a look at the website builder real quick. Same thing's going to apply here. When you go to new website, you can start from blank if you're going to do some kind of coding, or you can choose the templates. The main thing I wanted you to see with the template library for website is you have literally every industry you could think of. You have beauty, business coaching, automotive, and you have all these different pre-built websites ready to go. I mean, very little tweaks other than changing the About Us section, the images, but the layout, everything you need is done for you. I mean, GoHighLevel makes it super, super easy for you. So everything you would need, and I'm sure that your clients or your business are going to fall into one of these already. So I have a website ready to go. Let's take a look. We're going to look at the gym. So here's another thing. Under your funnels tabs, all your funnels that you built will be right here. It also tells you the steps you have in it. Website. So this is the gym website. This particular one is 3 pages. So I can go in and just simply click on the appointment. So if I want to change the appointment, change the thank you, I can click the edit button. I can also click here and do a quick preview. Okay. Let's look at that again. Look at this, guys. I haven't even touched this. I mean, that's beautiful. Absolutely amazing. Video, you even have the products you can sell. Obviously, you'd have to put in your own products, but you know what I mean. And that's it. And you hit the edit feature and you can start editing. And of course, you can change the URL. You can add your custom domain. If you guys haven't got started with the GoHighLevel 30-day trial, what are you doing? This is an amazing tool. It is going to absolutely help you crush it with your business, or if you're looking to start an online business. You need a funnel builder. You need a place to collect emails. You need a place to send emails, to book calls, and you can do all that within GoHighLevel. So if you haven't signed up yet, I will put the link below to help you guys get started and start diving into this amazing tool. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.